is your commentator.
In light of events at Bolton and Tranmere last night, maybe the Premier Worthington Cup candidates will feel it's better the devil you know. Football League teams are teams to avoid at present. West Ham returned red-faced from Tranmere themselves at the weekend, and despite having his hands tied by injuries, Harry Redknapp has responded with 3 changes. Javier Margos returns in defence, Mark Keller at wing-back, and more significantly, Paulo Wanchope is recalled to the attack after a couple of games on the bench. More muscle to support Paulo Di Canio, who has been publicly critical of West Ham's tactics and approach in that FA Cup defeat. Not like him to be outspoken. The cups are overflowing with welcome relief for Aston Villa, who are able to drop both Steve Watson and George Boateng into their lineup after injury and suspension. Julian Joachim steps in for Benito Carboni, who's ineligible. Paul Merson keeps his place. Alan Thompson loses his. No place on the bench for John Gregory, though. His touchline ban leaves Steve Harrison in vocal control. In overall control tonight, Stephen Lodge, and we play to a finish. Aston Villa's last 4 victories have come in cup competitions. There are only 4 victories since mid-September. The team in white shirts tonight. The Aston Villa manager faces half a dozen games away from his touchline patrol. Had enough for a man who's more animated than most. Watson coached in the direction of Merson. Would he manage to squeeze it past Redknapp, and here's a chance for Taylor. Aston Villa in front inside of 4 minutes. Ian Taylor is the goal scorer. And Paul Merson was somehow allowed to smuggle across from an unlikely dark corner behind Neil Redknapp and into the danger area. And Ian Taylor, who has always had an eye for goal, was the first to react. Well, Redknapp appeared to have matters under control here, but Merson stretched out a foot, pulled it back. And Ian Taylor, who scored in the final of this competition once upon a time for Aston Villa, has added to his tally. But it was a soft goal for West Ham United to concede. Ferdinand looking to go over Barry towards Di Canio. Hugo Ekio. It's a loose one. Look for Boateng, who's found with Sinclair. Now Cole. Lomas steaming forward. Keller to his left. 3 waiting on the edge of the penalty area. Keller ran through the challenge from Boateng. Lomas takes over, pushed away as far as Di Canio, and somehow David James. Well, the flag was raised, presumably when the initial shot came in. David James did rather ride his luck, but the flag was up against Di Canio anyway. Di Canio down to Lampard. Barry, not quite what he intended, and Wanchope put him under pressure. Now he's giving it away to Lampard. Well, he chose to hit it first time. He could have taken it on a step or 2. Maybe trying to catch David James by surprise. James already alarmed, by the way. Barry surrendered possession, and he got everything behind it. Lomas, Di Canio, good spin by the Italian. Now a little bit of space for Trevor Sinclair in behind Aston Villa. Might come here for Di Canio. He certainly got to the ball first and then fell over. And the referee had a look and decided that Gareth Southgate did not foul him. Di Canio is predictably upset. I think he took the ball away from the England defender. Sinclair screwed it back. Now, does Di Canio get there first? He does, but what kind of contact does Southgate make? Wanchope used his hand. The free kick to Aston Villa. Dublin available. Steve Watson will sneak forward to the edge of the penalty area. Southgate just waiting for everybody to take up stations. It's towards Watson. It's a good header too. It'll come for Dublin. And he just had to poke it a little bit as it ran away from him. After a slightly heavy first touch, it came to him at an awkward height, in fairness. Ferdinand's giving it away. This is Mercer. Skips away from Margas. Here come Aston Villa again. West Ham creating their own problems again. Good cross. He might come for Dublin again. Well, he knows it was an opportunity. Merson did well. It was a teasing cross between defenders and goalkeeper. This is Ferdinand. Tossed in towards one shot. Kitson trying to reach it. Might come here for Lampard. Well, he's had a couple of volley chances tonight, Frank Lampard. And he is one of the better volleyers around. But Paul Kitson, who has been a substitute more often than not this season, almost making some kind of an impact immediately. One shot, got a little touch on. Kitson couldn't quite connect, but Lampard did. Yellow to Lomas. Now Ferdinand. That's well played. Di Canio trying to peel away from Barry. Fed back carefully to Lampard. Frank Lampard scores the equaliser. Paolo Di Canio makes the equaliser. The first goal that Aston Villa have conceded in this Worthington Cup run. And it's brought West Ham United back on terms with time starting to run out. Di Canio just let the ball drift across him. Was able to get in behind West Ham and then pulled it back into the path of Lampard, who tucked it away very, very tidily indeed. On the charge. They have the wind in their sails. Sinclair. Tripped by George Boateng. Who's managed to tempt Boateng to have a nibble. Di Canio is the man standing over the free kick. Towards Margas, side netting. It must have been close. You can see that in Javier Margas's expression. Well, the angle was against him, really. Dublin to Taylor. Joachim, now it's wriggled away from Margas here. Pulled into Dublin! Stoppage time! Dublin, Aston Villa, semi-finals. West Ham United's brave second-half comeback is ended dramatically by Dion Dublin. And West Ham, who won their place in this round with a goal in the last minute, may well now have been beaten in the quarter-finals by a goal in the last minute. Margas dispossessed by Joachim, and Dion Dublin with as clean a volley as you could hope to see. A pretty impassive reaction, but deep down, he will be delighted, and he will have made everybody connected with Aston Villa very, very happy indeed. And it's all coming apart for West Ham United, beaten in the FA Cup of the weekend. Now, can Kitson come out with something? Penalty! Penalty! Never over till it's over. Paul Kitson has won a penalty here for West Ham United, and as dramatic a finish as you can imagine. Now, who wants to take it? Paolo Di Canio is the answer. Was it Southgate? Was it Barry? They both got to him. Centre stage again, Paolo Di Canio. Oh! What nerve! What cheek! And what a dramatic finale! West Ham are on level terms again. 2-2, and surely that is extra time. Aston Villa's vision of the semi-finals snatched away from them by Paolo Di Canio. Well, they've been through every emotion on those benches in the last 90 seconds or so, but Steve Harrison will come on and talk to the Aston Villa players in the knowledge that there is extra time to be played here. 2-2. Extra time begins. The Aston Villa players, having had a minute or so in the company of their manager John Gregory, who came down from his alienated position in the director's box to speak to them in the centre circle, and the referee Stephen Lodge pointed out to him in no uncertain terms that a touchline ban means a centre circle ban too, and it may mean more problems for John Gregory. Sinclair. The run by Sinclair. Very good run. Kitson! Well, he deserved better. Searing run. Down first the touchline, then the byline by Trevor Sinclair. Pulled back for Paul Kitson. Under pressure. But lifted it over the crossbar. In strongly. And the Villa players in the box here. Dublin! Well, probably a better chance than he had at the end of 90 minutes. Steve Watson with a very vigorous challenge, and then a curling cross, and Dublin seemed to be perfectly placed. Ferdinand had to try and attack it. Dublin didn't guide it in the way that he wished. At the end of normal time have not been repeated at the end of extra time. It was almost as if the players were readying themselves for the challenge of a penalty shootout, which will now determine whether it's West Ham United or Aston Villa who progress into the semi-finals of this season's Worthington Cup. Frank Lampard has missed a penalty on this ground this season in the final of the Intertoto Cup, no less, against Metz. But Lampard it is who will begin the fun and games that will decide who goes through the semi-final. Lampard, who scored the first West Ham equaliser this evening. David James facing Frank Lampard. West Ham go in front in the penalty shootout. Their first penalty shootout since going out of the FA Cup at the quarter-final stage to Arsenal here 2 seasons ago. Villa in a penalty shootout for the first time since the semi-final of this competition against Tranmere back in '94. And Stone sends his lot the wrong way. And it's 1-1 in the shootout. John Gregory having to watch from afar. Steve Lomas, the West Ham United captain, will be next. James just right, but couldn't quite keep it out, and that embodies the spirit with which Steve Lomas has played this match tonight. And how close did David James get? Dublin, who thought he'd won it in normal time, drives it high into the roof of the net. 4 penalties, no misses. We've seen Paolo Di Canio in action from the spot already tonight. Has he got another variation on his very individual penalty-taking style? Sends the keeper the wrong way. He is so self-confident, so self-assured. Harry Redknapp would surely expect him, of all people, to score, and Di Canio duly obliges. Roll that in off the inside of the post. Very precise. His expression doesn't belie any self-doubt. West Ham United and Harry Redknapp know that David James has put Aston Villa close to success. It's hit the crossbar and over the hills and far away. And Sinclair's miss is followed by Alan Wright's miss. Didn't need a goalkeeper to intervene this time. So much of their seasons rest on the outcome of the next couple of kicks. Neil Ruddock, driven in. Advantage West Ham. It's Ekion. And on we go into sudden death from the 5 initial penalty takers. On each side, 4 have been successful. Comes going for a way. It's Gareth Southgate who's coming forward for Aston Villa. Keller's penalty here has given West Ham a 5-4 edge, and Southgate must score. Now, where have we heard that before? Gareth Southgate, bravely, defiantly, from the penalty spot again. Oh, he's been saved again! Amazing! Gareth Southgate, who must have been certain in his very certain mind that he would never have to go through this again after what happened at Euro 96, is the player whose penalty is saved. Aston Villa go out of the Worthington Cup.
When you were allocating who was going to take the penalties in the shootout, did Gareth Southgate, was he happy to take one?
He would have took any of the first 5, to be fair. Very happy to take a penalty. I don't want to overlook the contribution he made in the first 120 minutes he was on the pitch. He was quite outstanding. Marshalled his defence exceptionally well, and he was brave enough. He had the balls to put his hand up to take a penalty, and just a bit unfortunate. I had visions of him being able to exercise the ghost of Euro 96. The 6th penalty is normally touch and go. I was hoping it was going to be the one that won us the game. I think if he'd have had to go up and score that goal to win the match, I think he'd have won it, to be fair.
Trevor Harris asking the questions at Upton Park. We'll talk about Gareth Southgate in just a moment. But Andy, you're Villa, you score early on, you go 2-1 up in the last couple of minutes, and you go out of the cup.
Oh, it's such a choker for them, it really was. They started so well, got the goal, and then I thought they were very well organised. You know, they had the 3 guys at the back, as John Gregory said there, you know, very well. Marshall in the defence, very well. The 5 in midfield were excellent. And they were just looking to counter-attack. West Ham did very well. To be fair to the Hammers, they come into it a lot second half, and after they equalised it could always go either way.
But when Dion Dublin has cracked this one in, I mean, you could see by the look on his face, he thought that was it, Villa home and dry.
Well, as you say, in the 89th minute, whatever it was, I mean, it was an excellent goal. Julian Joachim does brilliant. Great little cutback. And that is a sweet, sweet volley from Dion. Excellent finish. I should think he can blow his cheeks out there. I tell you, that was a terrific goal. Maybe in a hint of a little shove there on Margas, but that's a great cutback. And that is a superb finish. And as you say, with what, seconds left on the clock,
absolutely,
I think you're in the semis.
Right now, Ron, I know you've been concentrating on Leicester tonight, and we'll hear you talking about them in just a moment. But the penalty, I mean, was this a dive by Mr. Kitson? Was it an old pro's dive?
I think it was just a stumble. I think there's a gap. He's gone through the gap. The defenders can't do anything about it. They've got to make contact with him. I mean, it's a pretty obvious flip through there. And I actually think both defenders were trying to their utmost to make sure they didn't trip him. And for me, I think he's just gone through and he's connected himself, and there's no way in the world should that have been a penalty.
To Canio, Andy?
Yeah, very, very cool. Last minute, as you say, you want someone with a very cool head to take that, and that was excellent.
Now, John Gregory on the pitch here, he's serving a touchline ban. Is he going to get in trouble going on the pitch as he did?
He's in trouble every week. I would believe... What I can't understand is why the referee hasn't said to him, hey, you're not allowed it, off.
But he's definitely, as far as you're concerned, not allowed on the pitch. I think he said afterwards that the pitch is part of the dressing room in those circumstances.
Well, must have rubbishy old dressing rooms at West Ham, because, I mean, no way in the world. if the reading of it is he's banned from the touchline, then he ain't half banned from the pitch. That's for sure.
Okay, so he could be in more trouble with that. Then we get to the dreaded penalties.
Yeah.
And 3 apiece, I think it was, and a save from James, who played pretty well, actually, throughout the night, I thought,
yes,
from Trevor Sinclair.
Yeah, it wasn't a great penalty. Again, it's a good height for... David James is a big guy, and, you know, you need to know what you're doing there. That was the crucial penalty for me. If Alan Wright puts that one in after Sinclair misses, I think Villa are home and dry.
Now Southgate.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he's half-dollied it. After what happened to him in 96, you know, you thought he would have come in and just blattered that, and I think he's trying to be too careful with it. Full marks for his bottling taking it. I thought he'd just put it down, hit the back of the ball as hard as he could. He's placed it nice for the keeper.
I think he missed one pre-season, said never again. I mean, you have to give him credit for the skipper's gone up there and put his neck on the line.
Just wanted a piece of the action, didn't he?
But there was others that could have took that. I mean, again, you know, I think Ian Taylor could have gone, George Boateng could have gone up there. You know, maybe he could have waited till...
And he's an international, he's skipper.
Yeah, but he's been through that before.
Well, hang on a bit.
Well,
so did Stuart
here's
Pearson.
Euro 96, if we can bear to have a look at it again. And, well, I mean, I don't know. Perhaps I'm just very sympathetic towards him. Perhaps you take a harsher professional view, the both of you.
No, he's captain of the team. It's a vital match. Full marks. He's gone up and taken it. I mean,
I agree with you. I agree with the fact, you know, the fact that he's got the bottle to go up there and take it. I'd like to see 1 or 2 others push themselves up there first. That's all. 2 central midfield players.
OK, well, sad one, really, for Gareth Southgate and for the Villa, of course. Well, from an all-Premiership tie at Upton Park, we move to the nation...
Lots of talk this week about